Nama saya Gary Rianto, NIM 16220374. Di kesempatan kali ini saya akan menjelaskan tentang pemahaman saya seputar Language in Society, khususnya chapter 6. The title is Language Change. Ada 4 tujuan pembelajaran di sini. Yang pertama, to understand the concept of language change. Yang kedua, to identify what change occurs. Yang ketiga, to identify the types of change occurring in a language. Yang terakhir, keempat, ada to understand the process of language change. Okay, point 1. What is language change? Languages are always in a state of flux or continuous change, di mana perubahan mempengaruhi cara orang berbicara ini tidak dapat dihindari, seperti halnya bagian lain dari kehidupan manusia. Untungnya, perubahan bahasa sangat lambat dibandingkan dengan rentang kehidupan manusia. Ini akan merepotkan bila mempelajari kembali bahasa asli kita setiap 20 tahun. According to MacArthur 1992, language change can be defined as the modification of the forms of language over a period of time and of physical distance. Perubahan tersebut dapat mempengaruhi bagian bahasa, such as pronunciation, orthography, grammar, and vocabulary. And this taking place all the time, of course. Selama 9 abad terakhir ini, bahasa Inggris telah mengalami perubahan yang lebih dramatis daripada orang Eropa besar lainnya. Akibatnya, bahasa Inggris kuno atau Anglo-Saxon tidak dapat diakses oleh penutur asli bahasa Inggris modern. Oleh karena itu, pada abad pertengahan, Icelandic is to the modern Icelander. Point 2. Aspect of change. Di sini semua aspek struktur dan penggunaan bahasa tentunya tunduk pada perubahan. But the most noticeable and frequent changes affect pronunciation and vocabulary. And it is this which have attracted most study. Based on the science of comparative philology, pada mulanya sepenuhnya ditujukan untuk mempelajari perubahan bunyi, dan studi sosiolinguistik kontemporer memiliki penekanan yang sama. For 2.1, sound change. From the earliest days of comparative philology, it was not that the sounds of related language corresponded to each other apparently systematic ways, what were referred to as sound shift. Di sini beberapa penelitian disimpulkan bahwa pergeseran ini dilakukan dengan cara biasa sehingga bisa dilihat sebagai bunyi dalam undang-undang. Proses yang mempengaruhi perubahan suara banyak dan beragam. Berikut ini mengilustrasikan beberapa tipe yang terjadi secara tertulis. Yang pertama, assimilation. Mungkin jenis di mana perubahan yang paling penting di mana satu suara dipengaruhi oleh pelafalan. For example, I can go is pronounced. Yang kedua, split. One sound becomes two. Yang ketiga, merger or coalescence. Two sounds become one. And the next, for the 2.2, grammatical change. Major change in syntax and morphology have affected English over many centuries, to the extent that speakers of modern English are not able to understand Old English without training. So, akibat dari perubahan gramatikal ini, bahasa Inggris modern kehilangan sistem mengklasifikasikan kata benda menjadi 3 jenis gramatikal seperti yang masih terjadi dalam bahasa Jerman. So for this situation has been much simplified. For example, the form of definite article now invariant once varied according to case, number, and gender. And next, 2.3 lexical or semantic change. This is perhaps the most area of linguistic change, and the one which many people find the most fascinating. Lexical change is deeply related to the life, literature, and culture of a community. Such change is caused by both internal and external factors. Dan ini faktor dari internal, penggabungan, derivasi, akronim, campuran, back information, reduplication, singkatan kata-kata dari nama, dan banyak lagi. We talk about compounding. Compounding refers to combining of old words to form new ones with the new meanings, based on Franklin and Rodman, 1983. A few examples from compounding: afternoon, big mouth, chicken-hearted, egghead, force feed, ice cap, jet set, longshoreman, moreover, nursemaid, offshore, pothole, railroad, sailboat, takeover, water cooler, and many more. Derivation refers to a process by which more complex words are formed from less complex words, according to MacArthur, 1992. For example of derivation is purification from purify, from pure, uglification from uglify, and from ugly. Nah, sementara itu akronim adalah kata-kata yang berasal dari inisial beberapa kata. For example, radar, from radio detecting and ringing. Radar, RIDAR. And laser, from the light amplification by stimulate emission of radiation. And next, scuba, from self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. SCUBA, scuba. And the next example is ICU, from intensive care unit. For blends are compounds that are less than compounds. For example, smoke, from smoke. Fog, motel, from motor plus hotel. Urinaries, from urine. Analysis, harmonic, from harmony plus melodic. Orature, from oral. Literature are examples of blends that have attained full lexical status in English. For back information are new words which may become already exciting words by subtracting. Subtracting is it's like mengurangkan padanan kata sebelumnya menjadi apa contohnya. Misalnya, for example, for back information is disinform from disinformation, edit from editor, televise from television, laze from laze are several examples for back formation. And the next, reduplicative are compound which have two or more elements. Jadi di sini reduplicative adalah yang memiliki dua atau lebih elemen. So identical or only slightly different. For example, goody-goody, effectively good, informal. Difference between the two elements may be in initial consonants, as in walkie-talkie, or in the medial vowel, for example, crisscross. Most of the duplicative are highly informal or familiar, and many derive from the nursery. Example, din din for dinner, and the most common use of the duplicative are: number one, imitated sound atau meniru suara. TikTok from of a clock. TikTok. Hahaha. Switch in bahasa untuk orang tertawa, menggambarkan orang tertawa. Jadi meniru suara dari orang tersebut, contohnya hahaha, from the laughter. And bow wow of a dog, and to suggest alternating movement, for example, movement dari pergerakan itu kayak flip flop, suara sedang berjalan menggunakan sendal, flip flop, dan pingpong, suara dari orang yang bermain pingpong. And the next, to disparage by suggesting instability, nonsense, insincerity, vacillation. For example, higgledy, bite lady, hocus pocus, wishy-washy. To intensify, example, teeny weeny, tip top, based on quick 19 and 79. Untuk penjelasan tentang clipping or abbreviation denotes the subtraction of the one or more syllables from a word, which is also available in each full form. The clip form normally felt to be informal. The shortening may occur at the beginning of the words. For example, phone, telephone, become telephone, plane, become airplane, bus, become omnibus. But this sentence are very rare from in this era. And number two, the end of the words. More commonly, lebih komplit ini. Untuk contohnya, ad dari advertisement. Contohnya yang kedua, foto dari photograph. Selanjutnya ada exam dari examination, mic dari microphone, mini dari miniskirt. And three, epithet and the word of the words, not common type of clipping. For example, flu from influenza, and fridge or refrigerator. So the next point is talking about borrowings. Okay, borrowing is the process by which one language or dialect takes and incorporates some linguistic element from another, based on Franklin and Rodman, 1983. So, borrowing is an important source of language change. Kata lain dari bahasanya adalah ini penting untuk sumber dari kata yang baru. A language may borrow directly or indirectly. A direct borrowing means that the borrow items a native word in the language it is borrowed from. For example, in bahasa Indonesia, borrow word kreatif berasal dari bahasa Inggris, tentunya creative directly. On the other hand, English borrowed algebra from Arabic indirectly with Spanish as an intermediary. Next, loss of words. So far we have discussed how words are added to a language. It is also true that words can be lost from a language. That a word's departure is never as striking as a new word's arrival. Jadi di sini tentang kata di mana kata keberangkatan tidak pernah mencolok seperti kata baru seperti kata baru yang sekarang ada, itu kedatangan, keberangkatan dengan kedatangan, seperti contohnya seperti itu. Banyak bahasa Inggris yang kehilangan bahasanya atau katanya. To mention a few, besom to be suitable, mammoth such as a doll or puppet, what to know such as to know from what, and faint and greatly. So a language may gain or lose lexical items. It is also common for lexical items to shift in meaning. Jadi di sini bahasa menyediakan cara lain untuk perubahan bahasanya sendiri. There are three ways in which lexical item may change semantically. Its meaning may become broader, lebih luas, narrower, or its meaning may shift. For broadening occurs when the meaning of words become broader. For example, holiday originally mean holy and day, di mana hari keagamaan itu sendiri, jadi holy and day. And for narrowing can be observed in the meanings of words such as deer, which one means animal. So deer is described about animals, and myth means such as food, and flesh such as means myth. And the next, for the meaning shift atau pergeseran makna ini, can also learn from the following examples. Silly used to mean happy, nice mean ignorant, fond mean like foolish. And the last of the point of this language change is the process of change. Okay, what is the process of change? This none of the change described here happened overnight. Jadi di sini bahasa itu tidak mungkin tergambarkan berganti dengan terjadi begitu saja dalam semalam. They were gradual and probably difficult to discern while they were in progress. Although some change can be linked to major social change caused by wars, inventions, and other upheavals, the most pervasive source of change in language seems to be in the continual process of cultural transmission. So di sini jadi bahasa itu dipengaruhi oleh sosial yang berubah karena peperangan, invasi, dan gejolak-gejolak karena hal tersebut. And each new generation has to find a way of using the language of the previous generation. So di sini kita ada beberapa generasi yang telah menemukan caranya untuk menggunakan bahasa tersebut dari generasi sebelumnya. Okay. So this process, unending process, whereby each new language user has to create for him or herself the language of the community, there is an unavoidable tendency to pick up some elements exactly and others only approximately. So in line with your 1988, given this transmission process, it should be expected that languages will not remain stable and that change inevitably